Hello, everyone. Good evening. I am just going to make sure all is well by looking at this on my phone. That way I can also see the comments a lot better too. I just have to make sure that it's not like echoing or anything. Yeah, we should be good then. Hopefully we don't have any crazy storms tonight. It started raining earlier. I was tossing something out into the garage and the rain was hitting the garage door and like it almost sounded like hail because it was like prick, 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 prick. But I think it's just because it's so windy because it's supposed to be like 20 degrees cooler tomorrow or something like that. But I'm like, not tonight. We don't need weather issues tonight. But anyway, welcome. Happy Friday. This is the Heart and Home live online card class. I'm so excited. This card class is free for anyone to watch here on Facebook. You can watch it now live. You can watch it anytime later, and I'll also be posting it to my my YouTube channel. So share with friends, and if you can't watch it all tonight, then you can always come back and watch it again. So this is the Heart and Home class. We actually have 6 cards that we're doing tonight, and one is coloring. So I will try my best to scoot so that we're not on here all night long. So if you are on, give me a shout out. Just say hello. Maybe what your weather is like, where you're from, or anything like that. I did want to let you guys know that I have 3 card kits still left. I know the last 2 months the card kits have actually sold out, but I do actually have 3 card kits left. So if you are still interested in one of the card kits, then you can either let me know in the comments or in the description box. There's a link to register and get that that card kit. So again, I have 3 card kits, so jump on those. If you would like, you can also download the PDF tutorial and get that here. You can do an instant download, and you can go to etsy.com/shop/ Laura's Laura's Stamp Pad. So etsy.com/shop/Laura's Stamp Pad. Hi, Laura. Welcome. I hope I messaged you back just in time. 61 degrees in Delaware. I'm so jealous. Yeah, it was, well, it's getting colder. Tomorrow, like the high is like in the 20s. 70 degrees, but snow expected on Sunday. Boy, it sounds like you live in the Midwest, and yet you don't. So hi, Laura. Hi, Jan. Hi, Colleen. Hi, Karen. I'm so excited to have all of you ladies on this evening. Let's go ahead and quickly get started. So we are using the Blessings of Home stamp set. I think the only greeting that I did not use in any of my samples was the "We Can Get Through Anything Together." But I did get it out this evening because I thought surely I could add that either to the front or the inside of any of these cards. And of course, you can always mix and match any of the greetings going along. You can use the Blessings of Home stamp set, or you can use your favorite greeting stamp set that you like. The dies that I am using are the Flowers of Home, the coordinating dies. And these are the dies that I actually did not use. I have all the rest of them out that we're going to use throughout the class and everything. So some of these, like, I just chose different greenery pieces, but you could always choose to do one of these greenery pieces. I'm actually going to snag this one because I think I actually need this one. And you'll notice this one here actually matches the flowers in this set here. So we actually are going to die cut out the big one. So I've pulled that one aside. And then this one does this. And then the rest are all just kind of like filigree, flowery, like accent pieces or that sort of thing. So those are what we're going to be using tonight. And if you do have the card kit, then this is what your card kit looks like. I honestly don't know which one to start with. So if you have a favorite that you want to start with, or do as the second one in case I don't see the comments come in quick enough, then give me a shout out. Let me know which one you want to see first or second, and I will try to do that. I think the first one I'm going to do is probably this green one because I think it's probably the easiest. I would say the coloring one is the hardest, but I definitely don't want to leave the coloring one till the end because otherwise I'm gonna like get so far ahead and feel like I need to like zoom and get that one in. So we're gonna start with the green one. This is what that one looks like here. So we're using that fabulous designer series paper. Let's see, I'm gonna set that like right up there. And we're just kind of showcasing each of those pieces of designer paper. And I love that because then it really, like, you don't have to pick like which one do you want, which one do you not want, because you get to showcase 3 of them. So this is garden green, and that's our card base. And we're just folding our card base and using the bone folder. Then we have this piece. So this is actually one of them, but I'm going to use the wood grain side. The back side of all of these papers are various wood grains. So some of the wood grains go sideways. Some of them are a little bit more like detailed. Some of them have more knots. Some of them have crossbars. Some of them go diagonal. Like, I'll kind of try to remember to show you guys all of them, but it's all like wood grain on one side and then fun floral patterns and things like that on the other side. The ink that I'm using is Basic Gray. And I'm just stamping the Have a Perfect Birthday down here on the bottom. Have a perfect birthday. I will say that one kind of like blends in a little bit. I wonder if maybe I should put it on this corner because the print is a little bit different on this other corner. There we go. I do feel like that shows up a little bit better on that other corner. So we're just going to cover up that first one by turning the paper around. So now we're adding the designer paper to our card front. And it's got happy birthday on the top and the bottom. And then we, wait, we're not going to add that yet. Now we're going to add our strips. And I find that the best way to do spacing on something like this is either to lay all of them out like this, and then pick one up one at a time, and then add adhesive to it. Another option that I like to do is I like to do the outside 2 and then just sort of center the middle one. Like the middle one's just going to be as is. So sort of do like the 3 sides look even over there. And then we're going to do 3 even sides over here. And then the green is just going to go in the middle. So it might not be the same equal spacing, but it's going to fit. There you go. The other awesome thing about the green is the fact that it's green and the background cardstock is green. It's sort of, you can't really see like, ooh, there's a distinct line of where it starts or stops or something like that. So now this is my left-hand side. So I'm going to add adhesive down there real close to the edge. And then I'm just going to add my doily. Now, I do want to let you know not to add the doily too far down that it's going to fall off of your card. So we don't really want to add it like, we don't want to add it like right on the edge because then it's too far down. Hi, Denise. Welcome. This is the Heart and Home Designer Series paper. So this whole suite is all the Heart and Home. So actually, if you wanted to, you could even cut off a lot of that doily and use it for another project. Or you can just hide it up in there. So I'm actually going to sort of place it so I'm not covering up my Have a Perfect Birthday. Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to trim off this bubble so that it's not hanging off. Okay, and then we're going to sort of set that there, and then we're going to set this on top. And I'm going to press right there where that adhesive is. And then now I'm going to pick it up, and there's actually like a little bit of doily hanging off on the side. I don't think I really want it hanging off on the side. So I'm just going to snip that off. So that's how much doily I actually have showing. 1, 2, 3, 4 of the little bubbles, if that like helps you or anything. Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to have so many of you guys on. This is the Heart and Home online card class. This is a full 6 cards that I'm going to do with all of you guys tonight. You can always download the PDF tutorial of this with all the measurements and step-by-step instructions with the link in the description to get all of the details. Otherwise, you can always just follow along and rewatch this as much as you want. So I'm going to stamp this in that same gray on the inside. For the inside, you can really decorate as much or as little as you want. That's all personal preference. I'm actually going to go ahead and do this on the envelope. Oh, it's so gorgeous. And then, let's see, have a perfect birthday. So then we're going to do, I think I'm just going to leave that one. Let's see what I did. Oh, this one, yeah, this was my sample, and I never adhered the inside in there, and then I lost it somewhere apparently. But at least I knew it was my sample because it was the one that didn't have an inside to it. Oh wait, no, here's the inside. Never mind, that's the card we're making already. So I did You're a Real Blessing to everyone around you. But this one I think I'm just going to leave blank. And of course, we're going to finish it off with these are the classic matte dots. And we used the white and the gray. So there's 2 left, on this set. Oh no. And I'm just using my Take Your Pick tool. Just a little scoot off to the side. So just sort of pushing it like a snow plow. Since we're in the winter time, pushing it sideways to pick it up and then placing it on our card. So there we have our first card with the inside and the coordinating envelope. How cute is that? Okay, does anybody have any picks for card number 2? We'll set that one aside. Let's see. Okay, actually, we're going to do the little one so that I feel like we're moving along. I think I'm done with the gray ink, so I'm going to close that up. So this one is actually one of the note cards and envelopes. So the note cards and envelopes come with a small little note card. This one, which is kind of like the 6th card for this class that I just had to add in. Let me show you guys. The other card that comes in the note cards and envelope pack is this blue striped card. So the blue stripe and then the wood grain with that envelope. And it goes with the Memories and More cards. So you can always use those for quick and simple, no stamping paper crafting. Or you can always scrapbook with those too. So see how it's got that fabulous bumblebee paper on the inside of the envelope. But otherwise, it's just like a little craft envelope. So for this one, I folded my card in half. And I stamped the large floral image in Misty Moonlight on the background. And I actually put this large stamp on my Stamparatus because for big stamps, I really like my Stamparatus because I feel like I can't hang on to the stamp. Like my hands are just too little and I don't like to use big clear blocks. So we're just going to stamp that on the front of our card. So I'm actually putting this upside down because that's how I placed it on the Stamparatus. I don't think I moved it since the last time I did it, so I hope we're still good. Yeah, looks perfect. And then now we're just going to press. I'm so excited to have so many of you guys on tonight. What did everybody have for supper tonight? We had grilled chicken and fries in the air fryer. And I'm actually going to go ahead and clean this off now just because I don't want to forget later. So I'm just pressing it into my chamois. And it looks like I got it good. So we're good there. So yeah, what did everybody have for supper tonight? There is our little note card. And then we have this. And then now for the greeting, you can really use any greeting that you want. This can be like a punch. It can be, or I'm sorry, the image there. It can be a punch. It can be a die. It can be whatever like label item that you want. In the card pack, I did give you a strip of white and a strip of Misty Moonlight. So you can decide what you'd like to do. I used the stitched rectangle dies. So I use these for mine. But like I said, you could use a punch. You could use any sort of label die that you would like. This part is kind of all up to whatever you would like. There's nothing right or wrong with that. Again, you could also use whatever greeting you want. If you need a specific greeting or know someone who would love this card and just want to send them some fun little card, then you can most certainly do that too. A meatloaf sandwich, leftovers. Awesome. I always say that I'm not a huge fan of meatloaf, and my husband says he thinks I didn't have good meatloaf as a kid, and that's why I don't like it, but he wants me to try it again. So we need to try it again, apparently. I'm using my little mini here. I absolutely adore this little mini. I'm telling you guys, even if you have a big one, you need the mini because it's just so cute and fabulous. Like, look at that. Little, like, it's less than 3 pounds. I just pulled it right into my craft area, set it down. No big deal. One of the things that I did want to tell you guys, a little tip and trick with using dies that are stitched like this, they can sometimes be really hard to get out. So sometimes I just like run my nail underneath there, but I'll be honest, it always scares me that I'm going to end up like slicing up under my finger. This is where the little pancake flipper comes in handy. So this is the take your pick tool, and the one end of the take your pick tool is the putty end, which you saw me use for the placement of those basic matte dots. The other end of the take your pick tool has handy dandy little tools like the pancake flipper. And no, I've never actually tried flipping pancakes with it. But see, it's got this little pancake flipper on the other end. It also has a poker tool that you can use to like poke dies out. And that's how you can get your die out like safely. Hey babe, do you want to say hello to all of our friends? Come here. Dinner is at 9:30. Wowza, that's really late. Say hi.
Hi.
They're all right there. Wave at them.
Give mommy a big hug and kiss.
Careful. Mwah, mwah. Night night. Okay, tell everybody good night.
Good
Oh,
night.
they're all saying good night to you too.
Okay.
Okay, off you go.
One last story. Come on.
Story time.
Okay, let's go.
I love you.
Come on.
Meatloaf is yummy if it's made right. See, so maybe I just haven't had good meatloaf. And Brad just said, I agree. See, I told you he said that I didn't, that I haven't had good meatloaf, and that he wants me to try it again. I did see this one girl, did a meatloaf and she like wrapped it in bacon. And I was like, I think I might be on board with that. So, I did screenshot her recipe. Um, so I guess maybe I just need to try that. Okay. So now that I have our dies. So this one, I actually used the stamp, What a Beautiful Day. And you might notice that it says, What a Beautiful Day. And the stamp says, What a Beautiful Day for Love. So what I did, I don't know, I just feel like What a Beautiful Day is an amazing greeting. I feel like What a Beautiful Day for Love is a little like, I don't know how often I would use that. So I inked it up. And then I'm just taking one of these little tab Post-it notes and I'm covering up for love. And then now I'm just going to stamp it down. I feel like my Post-it moved, but we're still good. So now we have What a Beautiful Day. Hot dog in a corn tortilla. That sounds interesting. I'm still not over dinner at 9:30. That's like, I don't know, what's Hobbit meals? I'm definitely on board for Hobbit meals where, they have like breakfast and then they have snack and then they have 11sies and then they have like something else. Like I'm totally on board for that. I'm having like my evening snack at 9:30 though. But Brad always says I could eat with the old folks at 4, and that's totally true. I'm ready for supper at like 4 o'clock. Okay. So just like with that last one, we're going to add adhesive to the back of our greeting panel here, and then we're going to add that doily if we can find it. We're going to add the doily. We are going to add the doily. Well, goodness. Oh, yep, my doily's stuck to the bottom. Stuck to the bottom of my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss. Okay, so we have our adhesive, and I'm just going to add the doily down there on the bottom. I'm not as worried about my spacing with this one because I can always like raise or lower my little greeting piece there. And then plop this down. I have a little piece of cardstock that like wanted to come out with the die, but that's okay. Kind of just adds a little to the rustic look of that right now. What a beautiful day. And I actually didn't stamp anything on the inside of this one. I felt like it was such a small card that I was a little nervous to stamp anything on the inside to take up all of the room. And again, I'm also not stamping on the envelope because I feel like it's already decorated. Oh, Denise, I would love to have you send one. Rotisserie chicken. That sounds amazing. That dinner is Eastern time. So it's 9:30. Is it actually 9:30 your time, or is it 9:30 like my time when this class is done? Which would be like 10:30 for you, wouldn't it? I don't know my time zones. Okay, anyway. Here is card number 2. Which one do you guys like better? The first one or the second one? The green one or the mini note card? Let me know which one you guys like better. And we are going to move on to the next one. I am actually just going to pull off the top of the stack right now. So let's see. This card, where is my sample for it? I need to close this ink up or move it over before something bad happens. Here is the next one. So the fun, cool thing about this is like a square card with a handle, or at least this is what I am calling it. It is a square card with a handle. Are you catching my drift there, right? Square card with a handle. So I'm going to show you guys how I created the square card with a handle. So let me bring in my paper cutter. You can always do this a couple different ways. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to score at 5.5. I got so nervous that I was cutting rather than scoring. And then I'm actually going to score, oh geez, I don't want to mess this up. I'm going to score at, I thought it was 1 inch, but it's 1 1/4. At 1 1/4 inches in from that score line. So I want to show you guys a few things. If you don't have a score blade, that's okay. You can always take a ruler and you can go at 4 1/4 and do a little mark, and then 5.5 and do a little mark. And then you can always take your ruler and your bone folder and make a score line so that you know where to score. One of the other things that you can do is the 5.5 is actually just the card in half. So that's like your normal card base, right? Normal card base right there. And then, so really you're just going in 1 1/4 from that score line. And if you don't have a bone folder, but you still have a ruler, you could always use a stylus. There's also a stylus that comes with the Take Your Pick tool, so you could always use the stylus on there. So there's the stylus that goes in the Take Your Pick tool, and you could use that as a score option. So there's lots of different ways. Even if you don't have a score blade on your paper trimmer, you can always score with a bone folder, with a stylus. You could even like take a pen and mark it. You could even like take your thumb and probably like push your nail into it. So don't worry about that. It is 1 1/4 in from your score line there, your half a card. So now we're going to go ahead and add the small little panels. So yeah, anytime you need a score, that's how you can do it, whether you have a score blade or not. Let me know, do you guys use your score blade a lot? Oh, here, I told you I would show you the designer paper. This one, the backside is a diagonal wood grain. Your time zone makes it 8:30. Oh, okay. That's still really late. The green card you like? Well, that's good. So we're going to add that directly to that little panel that we just created. And then we're going to take our little denim ribbon. We're going to go to the inside of the card and we're going to tie this into a double knot. Right over left, left over right for that perfect little square knot. And then mine's a little off, so I'm just going to open up my card, squeeze the edges, and rotate it up just a hair. And we want it to be right there next to that that score line, which I did fold on it. Okay, so like on the inside, it's right next to that score line. And then I'm just going to take some tear and tape. You could always use your regular adhesive, but since this is kind of like a mechanism piece, I always kind of like to use a stronger adhesive. And there's that extra ribbon in there. So like I said, I just kind of like to use a little stronger adhesive when that's the case. So now this is the inside of the card. We're adding adhesive to just that little spot between the halfway mark and the score line. And then now we're just going to close our card. And this is what's creating that handle on a square card. Handle on a square card. And now I'm just going to trim my tails. Oh my gosh, that ribbon totally frayed. I was like pulling it too tight. I think it'll be okay. I'm going to trim some more. So yeah, let me know. Do you guys use a score blade a lot? Do you use your bone folder to score? Let me know. Okay, next up, we have 2 pieces of the pale papaya and 1 piece of the designer paper. So we're just going to add one of the pale papayas to the front of the card, and the other one goes on the inside of the card. Who is loving the Olympics? Who else cried last night when Shaun White was crying after he ran his final Olympic run with snowboarding? Like, yeah, totally did. And then I watched the part where they showed him his family from back home and how he was like a hot mess of tearing up. And I was just like, oh my gosh. Oh, it was the sweetest thing ever. I loved it. Love you, Shaun White. I'm sure you're not watching me stamp, but if you are, I love you. Okay, so this one, I actually, this one is another one of those that you can use whatever greeting piece you want. A punch, you can use a die cut, you can use those same rectangle shapes. So I actually have 2 different punches out. And I just wanted to show you, these are just your, the label punches. So you could use either one of these and do them up and down, side to side, whichever way. I'm going to show you how I did the one on this sample, only because I modified it a little bit. So I think I'm going to do it down here on this end of my scrap piece. So I'm just going to show you guys, because I know you're probably looking at it thinking that does not look the same. So what I actually did is I stamped my greeting in the middle, and then I cut off from this notch to this notch. So I modified this punch. You could leave the punch as is. There's nothing wrong with that. But I just modified mine because I'm crazy like that. So this one uses Misty Moonlight. And I use the You're a Real Blessing to Everyone Around You. I find that to be kind of a sweet greeting. And then now I'm just going to cut from this notch to this notch. And from this notch to this notch. So I cut off these pieces. And that's how I got a modified greeting piece. Again, you totally don't have to do that. That was just a little extra foo-foo that I created there. And again, you could always use that those rectangle dies or anything else. It's all personal preference on what kind of label piece you would like to use for your greeting. Come here. One last big hug and kiss. Say night-night. No, Mommy's almost done, okay?
Come on, let's go.
Here, you can peel off the dimensional backs, okay? 1. Peel off the rest. 2, 3, 4, and then that last one. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Come on.
Big hug and kiss.
Come on.
Okay. Night-night, babe.
Come on.
Okay. Just a little guest appearance there. Okay, so now we're going to stick this on the center here. And then I'm going to show you how I did these little pieces. And I know you guys know how much I am not a huge fan of fussy cutting, or I'm sorry, not fussy cutting, but the fine tip glue pen, because I tend to make like a big mess with it. And these are very delicate pieces. So I thought, well, this is the time that I should get out my adhesive sheets, right? So we're going to pull back out that Misty Moonlight scrap paper that we have. And I have my adhesive sheet. So if you don't know what this is like create your own sticker stuff. So I have the adhesive sheet comes as like 3 strips, and it's like this long. What is this, like 6 by 12 or something like that? So I used some of this already, but I have this piece left over. So I'm just going to peel this off, and it's a sticker now. And I'm going to add this to the back of my Misty Moonlight. Okay? So we have Misty Moonlight cardstock, and then we have our sticker on the back side. But the adhesive is not showing. The adhesive is behind this paper. Okay, so now we're going to die cut out our images. And this is where like those fun little like greenery pieces or extras come in handy. And yeah, I think, let's see. Oh, nope, they are literally, each one is completely different. So I did 2 on the inside, 2 on the outside. And I did like the same ones, but I'm gonna line all of these up and run them through. Just because if I'm cranking it through, I might as well get the most bang for my buck. How many of you guys use adhesive sheets? Have you ever heard of adhesive sheets? I'll be honest, I don't use them as often as I should. I think I just always forget. And then it comes time to like adhere it down, and I'm getting out my fine tip glue pen, and then I'm going, oh man, I should have done that. But then it's always too late because I've already die cut them. But here is the fine tip glue pen. So you could always use that to adhere these down. Or we have homemade stickers. So the one thing I did find, as I was like die cutting these and doing them for the samples, I realized that like some of them started to like peel off as I was trying to punch them out. So I left them like sort of together. Of course, they probably aren't going to do that now because I want the backs to peel off. And this one has 2 little holes in the leaf, so we're just going to pop those out. That one, the adhesive sheet came off, so it's sticky. Okay, so see how we have that sticker on the back side, cardstock on the front side. And we're just going to add this to the side. And let's see. I actually have another one of these die cut. See, and that one I just like peeled off just like a sticker right off of the cardstock sheet. And the awesome thing about this is like the whole thing is stickerized. So the whole thing is like laying nice and flat. You don't have to worry about like, oh, I added, you know, a dab here, here, and here, but now it's sticking up here, here, and here. You don't have to worry about that with the sticker sheets. So super, super fabulous. Then on the inside, I'm just going to do 2 of the other ones. So we're just going to peel this one off. And I'm going to add them in opposing corners. I just blew your mind, didn't I, Karen? And of course I picked one that I didn't have 2 of. Okay, I think I can fit one more over here. Yeah, if you are not a lover of the fine tip glue pen, then adhesive sheets are your best friend. Okay, which one did I do? I did, oh, this one. Right? No, not that one. This one. Yeah, this one here. So I do need to die cut one more. Yes, you totally need adhesive sheets. And you know what? This little spot right here on the corner might not even have a full adhesive sheet on it, but it probably still has enough that that it'll stick down and it'll stay on my project. Again, I just got done saying, you know, like the adhesive sheet covers the whole back, and so there's no spots like sticking up. But even if there are a few spots without it, it's such a solid adhesive that I really think you'll be just fine. If there's like a corner that doesn't have it, like for example, just like this. So see, we have this here. I'm going to peel off the back. And you see how there's no adhesive sheet on the tips of those flowers? It'll be just fine. And in fact, it'll make it easier for me to be able to peel off the sticker, maybe. I don't know. As I'm saying that and trying to pick at it, I'm like, maybe I was wrong on that. Okay, and then that goes to the inside of our card. So the inside has that fun little decoration, as well as the outside having that fun little decoration. And again, this is our little handle square card. Okay, so now, oh, and should we stamp the envelope? What should we stamp on it? I almost feel like maybe I'm just going to put one of those stickers on it. Like, how about this one? That's not in, it didn't pop out of the die. So I'm just using the poker tool from the Take Your Pick tool. Sometimes I also take the putty tip and like suction it out. There we go. And then now we have to peel off the back. And it's taking all those little holes with it. Nice. And I'm just gonna stick that right on the envelope. How cute is that? Love it! Okay, so now you have that first green card, the little note card, and then the square card with the handle. Which one is your guys' favorite one so far? I think so far we just have a vote for the green. So let me know. Square card with the handle, I guess is how we're going to call that one. Okay, next up, we're moving to the purple card. And this one is a fun Z-fold card. Super, super cute. I'm like nonstop talking, so I just need to make sure that I'm drinking something so that I don't end up like, I don't know, choking on my own spit or something. Because that's something I would do. I saw a post the other day that said it takes like something like it takes somebody really skilled to choke on air or their own spit, fall up the stairs, and trip over absolutely nothing. And I'm that skilled or something like that. And I was like, yes, that's so me. Okay, so this one we're going to fold in half, and then we're just going to fold the front back in half. So this one, again, you could score it if you wish to do so. It's all just halves. So folding the card base in half and then folding that front panel back in half. And it creates a Z. So that's why it's called a Z-fold card. A lot of times I make these and I decorate this side and you have very little to write on the inside of the card because it's showing. And a lot of times, you know, I'll do a decoration down there in the corner. Well, with this one, we don't have to worry about that because we're actually going to cover up the whole inside as if it were still a regular card. So here's the back side of this designer paper. Again, I told you I'd show you all those wood grain looks, which you are more than welcome to use any of those wood grain looks rather than the side I used. After all, these are your cards, so you can do them however you wish. Okay, so now we just need to add adhesive to like the left side of this fresh freesia piece of cardstock. So you could do that either way. You could either like, you know, go like this and then make a little mark. Don't go past here, or, you know, with your finger, you can make a little mark like don't go past my finger line and then add adhesive. You could also add adhesive to this front panel. Just stay away from the edges because that's where you're going to have your cardstock show. So this piece now lays with a nice little border on all four sides. Half of it is that front Z, the other half is the inside of the card. So you still have that entire inside panel to be able to write on because you don't have to worry about it showing through. But yet you still get that fun Z fold. And then you might be wondering, but wait, she has a purple doily and mine is gray. And that's because I colored it. So there's a couple different ways that you can color it. I used the Stampin' Blends, the Fresh Freesia Stampin' Blends to color it. You could also use a sponge dauber and the ink pad. We are using the ink pad to stamp the greeting. So you could also use a sponge dauber and the ink pad. You could also use any markers, any sort of blending brushes, anything like that to be able to color this doily. And I'm just coloring the doily all the way to that like dotted center circle. And I kind of like rough colored it. Like I didn't, you know, delicately do it. And I think the way that I did it sort of gives a variation in color. Because my strokes of the marker are a little different, then, you know, more ink got on some of them and more like a couple of the others. There's a little bit of less ink. And so it really gave the doily like a fun variation. It also is making my scrap paper look super cool. Of course, some of the spots I feel like are too white and I'm going back in and covering them up and I'm probably going to regret that. So there we have that fun doily that is now fresh freesia. And like you can see, there's like some lighter sections over here, some darker ones over there. Like that one's really light, but I'm going to let it go because I don't want to overdo it. And then I'm just stamping my greeting in the center. And don't worry if perhaps you mess up on that stamped image and you're thinking, but I just stamped on a doily and I've ruined it. Don't worry, you can always stamp on a piece of Whisper White and punch it out and lay it over the top. So no big deal there. Also, if you did use like a blending brush or something and it was hard to stay out of that that dotted line, again, you could always just punch the thank you greeting and pop it on top. So no worries there at all. And now this I'm just going to add to my card front with some dimensionals. And by some, I mean too many. But you guys know me. Ooh, I have a good question for you guys. Do you eat dessert after a meal? Or do you wait a little bit later into the evening and then enjoy it almost as like an evening snack treat sort of thing? Do you always have dessert like right after the meal, like as like the finale? Or do you ever have it like a little bit later as like a, okay, I got too full from dinner and now I'm going to enjoy it? And then we have our little piece here, and I am going to die cut out some flowers. And you know what? I actually use mini glue dots on this part to stick those flowers down, but I could also use some of this adhesive sheet. So I'm just going to take the adhesive sheet, stick it on my purple here, fresh freesia. Ah, got some adhesive sheet on my finger. Lay the flowers down. I actually need two sets of flowers. I was like, I can't find the top plate. You have dessert later? Both. Jan, I love it. I can get on board with that. So my family always did like right after the meal. And like when the meal's over, like kitchen's closed, there's like, we're not having dessert later, sort of thing. And Brad is more like, let's enjoy it later. And we actually do all. So I thought I was putting it in the right corner, but I wasn't. So I missed my adhesive sheet. So my adhesive sheet is over in this corner. Let's try that again. I have to do 2 sets anyway. And I actually kind of think I enjoy it more. Or I'm on board with the both thing, where I'm like, I could have a little something sweet right now, but then later I'm like, I could have something a little sweet right now. But I will say Claire doesn't get a lot of dessert because a lot of times we have it later. And she's in bed already. So is Alex. But don't worry, she enjoys plenty of sweets. So now we're just going to peel these off and decorate with them all around our greeting. So you can see on this one I did like 3 here and then 2 up top. So that's all personal preference on how you want to decorate with yours. I don't know, peeling off this sticker might be just as hard as trying to put a mini glue dot on there. It does take the center out of the flower, which I do like that. I didn't put the poker tool back in. And then 2 of them up top. And I'm going to do the medium and the small. So again, you could use the fine tip glue pen. You could also use a little mini glue dot. These are actually like the little glue dots that come in kits. I don't typically buy mini glue dots. Stampin' Up! Sells mini glue dots and they come like on a roll. I actually kind of like those better because you don't have to peel off the backs. But I get so many of these in kits that I don't typically buy mini glue dots and I just use those whenever I need one. And then I actually put a gray matte dot in the center of each of those. And this one here, I added to the inside of the card. You could also crank through a third batch and add some to the envelope. I will say when you add it to the inside of the card, don't put it real close to the edge because otherwise it'll show down here. So you want to sort of add it a little farther in, or on one of the other corners is always an option. And then now let's add those classic matte dots. And you could always decorate with the classic matte dots however you want, or you could put them in the flower centers. It just kind of depends. That's all personal preference. So here is card number 4 with that inside. But I didn't actually stamp anything on the envelope. Maybe we'll add one of those little flowers. I just feel like I have to. There we go. How cute is that? I'm loving it. Super, super cute. Okay, so which one are we loving? Are we loving the first green one, the second note card, the third square card with the handle, or the fourth card that's purple? Let me know which one you guys are liking the best. And you know what? Let's hurry up and finish that coloring card. So that, no, I'm going to end with the coloring card. We're going to do this one because then I feel like we're going to be like, just down to the last one, which I feel like we're doing really good. I'm just now at the hour mark and I have 4 of the 6 cards done. So, like, I don't want to keep you guys on forever just because I know that with the time difference and stuff, then that can get really late. Plus my bedtime. So I just added a little dab of adhesive to the center there. I find that this just helps leave it right there for whenever I flip it over. And then I can just add adhesive on the back side and fold my ribbon over. So I'm sorry, I didn't even mention, this is the Misty Moonlight card base. And there is the sample. And so I folded the Misty Moonlight card base in half, added that denim ribbon before I placed it on my card front because we wanted to wrap those ends to the back side. And then add this to the card front. And this one we're actually using the doily as is. We're not coloring it. We're not changing it. Just adding the doily down. This is also going to go over the ribbon, so it's going to help secure the ribbon down as well, which is another reason why I'm not too concerned about adhering the ribbon down. But sometimes I just add that little dab in the center just to help hold it in place while I flip it over. And you can do this like offset or in the center, whichever you prefer. I'm going to kind of offset mine. That way I don't have to worry about centering it and missing the center because I totally missed the up and down, but that's okay. We're good. Okay, and for this one, I did actually cut out a circle for the center of the doily, which is why I said if you mess up on the other one, it's okay. No one's going to know because we already have the punch out anyway. So Stampin' Up! Actually used to sell a 2-inch circle punch, and then they retired it and and just moved to the layering circle framelets. I've kept my punches just because I love how quick and simple they are. But I also have the layering circle framelets so that I can do various sizes of circles. So there is a 2-inch circle to be able to die cut this circle for this, but we also, you can also use your 2-inch circle punch if you happen to have that as well. So we're going to bring back in our scrap white. I'm going to punch out that 2-inch circle. And you know what? I think I might use the We Can Get Through Anything together on this one. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp this in Misty Moonlight onto my greeting. And then I'm going to take that image that we need to clean, the floral image. This is the smaller floral image, not that big one, but the smaller one. And I'm going to ink it up in Misty Moonlight. And then I'm going to stamp onto my scrap paper once, twice, and then over the top of the greeting 3 times. And it's just so subtle and so amazing. You guys, like this right here is my favorite from all of these cards. And I know you guys are probably thinking I am bazooka crazy. And you know what? I really am. And I'm okay with that. But there is just something about that subtle flower on the back of that greeting. It makes me so happy. It's so beautiful. I love it. And we're going to decorate this with some of those white dots. I knew I had just a few of them here, so. And they just kind of add just a little like bump of texture and foo-foo. And then for the inside of the card, this one I did that same piece. Disregard the fact that it opens in that way, okay? And I did the "You're a Blessing to Everyone Around You." So we can get through this together. I'm going to stamp that floral image, but I'm going to do it in full strength. I also need to stamp my envelope. And my envelope. And then let's see, what greeting? We can get through this together. What about the thank you for, no. You know, maybe with this greeting, I'm not actually going to put something on the inside. I think I'm going to leave this one blank on the inside. So who is stamping along with me tonight and who is just watching for fun? Are you guys stamping with me? Am I going too fast? Are you keeping up? Or are you going to stamp later after you've watched all of it and got all the tips and tricks? So here is card number 5. That beautiful envelope. I love it. Just a little high up. Good job, Laura. But you know what? If I angle it like this, you can't really tell, right? It's all about the angles, isn't it? You know, look at my good side. Let me stretch out a little. Isn't that how it works? I guarantee the recipient of this card would not notice that it was a little off. And if they did, no more homemade cards for them, right? Okay, so now we are on to the final card. This is the coloring card. And let's scoochy everything out of the way. This is this fabulous card. Oh, how fabulous, Jan. So let's go ahead and start with our pale papaya. And folding that in half. And then we have 3 pieces of white paper, okay? 3 different sizes of paper. The biggest one is 4 by 5 1/4. That is going to go on the inside. The next one is just a hair bigger than our pale papaya. See? Just a little bit bigger. And that one, of course, layers here. The third piece is the one that we're going to stamp our big flower on for the front. Okay, so I just want to make sure that you have all of your white pieces in the correct spot so that we don't use the wrong white piece for the wrong layer. So I'm going to go ahead and add that one to the inside. I'm also going to clean off that flour that we just used. Oh, Laura, you're stamping along with me too? Awesome. And I am zipping along. I know, it's probably because I was so nervous that this one was going to take forever because of the coloring and everything. And so I think I feel like I'm just like zipping along and like whipping through these. I don't know. It's always so funny. I can do a class 5 different times, and every single time it takes a different amount of time. Okay, so I'm going to stamp this on the inside in Memento Black. And then I'm done with that one. And then this big piece, smaller piece, the piece that has the big flower, I'm going to put in my Stamparatus and ink it up. But yeah, I've done classes before where people zip through it in like an hour and a half. I've done it and it takes 3 hours. I've done it and everybody thinks that this card is really hard. I've done the class again and everyone thinks that one was no big deal and this card is hard. So like it's so crazy. And I usually do like a morning and an evening class. So I do a 10 a.m. and a 6 p.m. And I'm going to scoot this down a smidge. And I usually after the 10 a.m., I'm like, okay, I think I should probably start with this card first to get it out of the way because it's too hard, it's too crazy, it's too whatever. And maybe that'll help. And it doesn't. So it's so crazy. Okay, and I'm not going to lie, I'm going to do a little bit of movie magic with you guys on this coloring, only because I know you guys don't necessarily want to watch me color all night long. So, I am going to color with my blends, and I have the Fresh Freesia, light and dark. I have Old Olive, light and dark, and an extra light. And I have Pale Papaya, light and dark. So you can use your blends. If you don't have the blends, you can always use a blender pen. You can use a painter. You can even use Wink of Stella. So there's lots of different ways that you can color these. I'm the zippiest stamper you know. Well, also, it's all like sitting right here and I have it like piled together. So that also helps. Like if I were doing this just regular stamping, it would take me a lot longer. Like to create these samples took me like 2 days, but I know you guys don't want to stay live with me for 2 days. So that helps. But so there's lots of different ways that you can color this. You can dab in the ink pad and use any of these options to be able to color, or you can always use the blends. So I'm going to show you how I did this with the blends. I always start with the dark marker first and I do the accents. And then I use the light marker to fill in and blend. So I'm going to take my dark fresh freesia. And I always also get asked whether I use the pen tip or the marker tip. And I always used to use the marker tip, and now I almost always use the pen tip. So it's personal preference. Okay. I also am super worried about this because I'm always afraid I'm going to color a flower into a leaf or a leaf into a flower. So I'm literally looking at my sample and like using that exactly. So I'm just going to color the dark areas, like Stampin' Up! Nails it with the texture on their images so that it tells me where I need to add a dark line. If it was just an outline flower, I would be like, the whole thing is dark or the whole thing is light, because I don't know. So there's that. And then like with the leaves, I'm just going to do like the veins pretty much. Oh, really? That's so funny. Maybe it's a Laura thing. And then a little bit down and around in here. Okay. So now I'm going to show you what that looks like with all of the dark done. They actually sell chalks again, Jan. I don't have them because I can't say chalks are my favorite. I feel like they're too delicate and I get nervous. And I'm not really a huge colorer anyway. As you can see, we've done one coloring card with all of these flowers. But Jan, they do sell them again. I will get a link and I'll link it on your comment here. And you're going to have to teach me your ways on chalks because I just get too nervous. So I've done all of the dark lines. And now I'm going to go through with my light marker and just fill in and blend over the top of those. So I'm coloring everything over the dark and into all of the flower. And then you can go back again with the dark if you need to like add some more accents. Jan, if you do this in chalks, you've got to send me the picture. I want to see it. It's so weird. That almost looks pink instead of purple. I also did the centers of the flowers in the light pale papaya. The other thing is you could really color this any color you want. You could add in some pinks. You could do some yellows. You could even color these big flowers rather than leaving them white. You could do so many different things with this card. Okay. Again, we're going to do a little bit more movie magic. And I have this one here with a lot of them colored in. This was the one that I was supposed to finish on. Let me know, are you guys huge fans of coloring? Whenever I did this as the in-person class, this was everybody's favorite card. It was the most time-consuming card, and everybody was super excited about coloring. I am an in-between colorer. I don't want to do a ton, but I also do enjoy doing it a little bit because I love the multiple colors and like the pretty things and all of that. And I totally almost just colored all of that, which would have gone into the other flower. I'm like totally covering up my image too. I just saw some hearts and thumbs up go. Oh, thanks, guys. Love it. Then you put Wink Estella on top of it? I bet that is amazing. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see it. And then I added this with dimensionals to my card front. More thumbs ups. You guys are fabulous. Okay, I just forgot though. Our other piece of pale papaya, I actually ran through an embossing folder. I used the gingham embossing folder, and I went ahead and I embossed that prior to this because this embossing folder doesn't actually go through the mini, so I would have had to bring in my big one and then clunk it down and everything. So I did go ahead and emboss this as well. So this is the gingham embossing folder. You could technically use any embossing folder that you wish. I know that there are so many good ones that I could have used for this because it's just that subtle background image, just a little bit of texture. So I went ahead and I embossed that. We're going to go ahead and add that to the card front before we put our flowers down. So that one you don't have to have any sort of specific embossing folder for. And then peel off the backs of these. Oh, I also already die cut this too. So I'm not a speedy stamper with this card. I just did a lot of extra prep work so you guys didn't have to watch me color forever. Which is probably a good thing that I did this one last so that all of you who are following along didn't get super behind with this one. I do have a tip though. So I have these little sticker post-it notes to be able to hold this in place whenever I go to die cut it, because after I color it and everything, or even after I've stamped it, I really don't want it to move on me while I'm die cutting it and then mess up my image. So I just add those to hold it in place while I run it through the die cutting machine. And then I also added the ribbon. For the ribbon, I actually do like bunny ears. So I go like with my thumb and my pointer finger, and I wrap it around my pointer finger. So I'm holding it with my middle finger and my thumb just below my pointer finger that has the loops. And then I pull my fingers out. So now I have 2 bunny ears, which you could always just make 2 bunny ears instead of doing the whole loopy finger thing. And now I'm going to take this and I'm going to tie a knot. And so it's kind of a crazy bow. So now I'm just going to hold the center and even it out, pull tight until I have the size of bow that I want. And just know that you can manhandle that bow a little bit. Yank on those to come down. And then that's going to go right below our greeting. For the greeting, I used the rectangle dies again. Oh, there's the inside panel that I did for the original card. And I just didn't adhere it to the inside. And I stuck it to the back. So I'm going to adhere it to the inside before I forget. This is the inside of the card that I'm making that I still need to color. I'm trusting that I'll do okay on coloring that. And then let's see, where's the rest of our white strip so that I can die cut out a label? I don't know where I tossed it. Well, I am not sure. Oh, here it is. And so we're just going to do another one of those labels. And again, this is one of those that you could use whatever greeting you want. You can also use whatever label, punch, whatever you want. So there was the white scrap that I sent in the kit. Here was the fresh freesia scrap that was in the kit. And here is the Misty Moonlight. So I hope you guys had plenty for your projects tonight. And we're going to pop out this die. Oh, it did not want to let loose. There we go. And I'm going to stamp the birthday greeting. Ooh, nope, that's beautiful day. That's thank you. That's together. Right? Oh, it is what a beautiful day, not birthday. This one I think I might actually do thank you instead of a beautiful day for love. Oh, how wonderful, Colleen. So you can just sit back and enjoy it and take all the notes, and then later you can stamp. And there's nothing wrong with being a slow colorer. I am too. Like I said, that's why I did some movie magic. Because the other hard thing is I can't talk and color at the same time because I get distracted. So, like, do you guys really just want to see, like, my head over the top of it as I'm coloring forever? Like, no. Probably not. So I spared you on that one. There's nothing wrong with being a slow colorer. I'm just so excited to have you guys all on to chit chat and stamp with tonight. Okay, and then I added this with some mini glue dots. So you can either add them directly to the ribbon or you can kind of place them down onto your project. Peel off the backs and then press the ribbon into it. And then we're just going to trim off our tails. And that's not all. We still have some little dots. So some little white dots to add on. And you can really add those wherever you want. Just to sort of accent the flowers. And then maybe I'll do a little coloring on the inside. I'm so nervous. Like I said, I'm afraid I'm going to color a leaf into something wrong or something like that. I'm just trying to get like some basics so that it looks beautiful. This one I'm actually doing all the light because I wanted to do the centers. And so I'll come back through with the dark. So that I did the centers, which actually those I should have done purple, right? Right? Yeah. Well, what are you going to do? Oh, those are so fabulous. Got a little squeaky marker tonight. So just so you know, I do actually still have 3 card kits left over. The last 2 months I actually sold out, and then this month I have 3 still left over. I'm sad that I didn't do any purple on this one on the inside, but there is the inside of this one, and here is the inside of the other one with that that purple on there. So that's okay. Here is the 6th and final card. I hope you guys had fun tonight. I sure had fun with all of you guys. I'm just going to move that to the side because it has all the mess on it. And I'll pull back in all of those cards as I wrap this up. I had so much fun stamping with all of you guys tonight, doing the Heart and Home online card class. Of course, you can always share this with your friends because they can always watch this for free. And they can also download the PDF tutorial with all of the instructions and everything if they wish. That is at my Etsy shop. So you can see a link in the description box of this video, as well as on YouTube. So if someone doesn't have any Facebook, then they can always watch it on YouTube. I will have it on YouTube posting tomorrow morning, so you can always check that out there. I do have 3 kits left as of right now. So you can always message me in the comments here, hey, I want a kit, and I can send you all the information that I need to get that sent to you. Or you can always just go to the link in the description and fill out the registration form for that. I do have the date set for the next online class, which is in March. It is also the 11th, so March 11th, 1 month from today. It's a Friday, 7:30 p.m. Central Time, and it is with the New Horizon suite. So we will be using the New Horizon stamp set as well as the designer paper, and I'm really hoping the pebbles come back in stock so that I can do a lot of pebbles on various cards for that. So I will have all of the details and the registration link for that out soon. Let's see, today is Friday, so I'm hoping to have it out this coming week, but it just kind of depends on how the week goes and if I can get all the projects completed, photographed, and ready to go for you guys. So if you're interested in that one, let me know so that I can get you the link to that first. I have had a lot of people interested in that one. And so I hope kits don't sell out super, super fast. So if you want on that list of let me know ASAP, then I definitely will. And I can let you guys know that you can purchase the Horizon stamp set. If you want to get that, I don't know where it is. Here, let me see. Sorry about that. The On the Horizon bundle, if you want to get that here in February during celebration, then you can do that. It is this one right here. I just stuck stamps to it. The On the Horizon stamp set and coordinating bundle. Then you can go ahead and get that this month so that you can take advantage of celebration. But this will be the next online stamp class, which is March 11th. So mark your calendars. Of course, you can always watch for free. So share with your friends, and I can't wait to see you then. So I hope you guys will have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful evening. Thank you so much for stamping with me tonight. Again, don't forget, I still have 3 kits left, so if you still want one, then you can send me a message and I will get one sent in the mail to you so you can complete these cards. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. Love, hugs, and prayers to all of you guys. Stay safe, stay healthy, keep warm out there, and I'll see you next time.